Hi, I'm Milla and welcome to another Milla's Game Room video. This video is going to be me talking about my GameCube, Wii and Wii U collections in one little video because, well, my Wii collection is quite big compared to the GameCube and Wii U collections. And so they're not big enough to warrant their own video. And also because I like the Wii. The Wii's a great console, so is the GameCube, and so is the Wii. Anyway, if you like the content, like, comment, subscribe, etc. Notification, and so on. So I'm going to start with the Wii stuff. And as heads up, there's going to be, in this collection, few things I've not played, but most of these I've played, or at least can talk a lot about them. So, starting with Beat the Beat Rhythm Paradise. This one has gotten really expensive now, and honestly, I wouldn't say it's worth the money. It goes for like £60 at least. That was when I last saw it in like CEX, and that's below eBay price. This game is, well, the only home console game in the Rhythm Tengoku series, and it's alright. It's the only one I've played. It's pretty good if you want a rhythm game. I mean, I prefer other rhythm games, so I'm not the biggest fan of this series or game. So, but if you're a fan of rhythm games, you should check it out. Boom Streets, otherwise When Mario Met Final Fantasy, or no, When Mario Met Dragon Quest. Because Mario met Final Fantasy but in other games, but this is the crossover with Dragon Quest, and is the only game in the Itadaki Street series to come to the West. If you don't include fan translations, it's a really unusual combination between, well, Mario, Square Enix IPs, and kind of like Monopoly, and other similar like money-driven board games. It's got some nice references and music and remixes to games in these series, and yeah, it's an interesting little curio. Dragon Quest 1, 2 and 3 HD, well not HD, but 25th Anniversary SD Collection. I've not played this because the Wii is region locked and you need a region locked free Wii, or region locked Wii from Japan or something. Yeah, there are a bunch of Japan exclusive imports I want to pick up, and this one I was really lucky to find on like just eBay, really cheap auction, so I picked it up. This bundle includes the game, some like a little manga, and some like some pins or plastic, like a little mini bag, kind of like to symbolize like the gold from the Dragon Quest series. And yes, you can see it's got multiple different versions of the first 3 games, and this never came west. We got the base version of Joker 2 for the 20th anniversary, so that's why you can see the logo up there, which was used in the West. So yeah, interesting little gem. Has arguably been superseded by the Switch release, but that's not the best quality release. But hopefully that one's better. Epic Mickey, little interesting Mickey Mouse like dark take on the various Disney IPs relating to that from the creator of Deus Ex, and back when Disney did games. Endless Ocean, a classic from the Wii's library. The Last Story, this is the Europe limited edition for it. I got really lucky to get hold of this years ago for like £55 in a CX, and it basically came complete, which is really cool. Nowadays, the game on its own costs £55, so safe to say that was years ago was the last time you could get a bargain like this. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, the Wii launch title that, well, it was originally going to be a GameCube game, but if you want to get the game for cheap, this is the way to go. This is not a Zelda I've played yet. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword with the Special Orchestra CD limited edition. This game is good. It's the most inaccessible Zelda because of its heavy overuse of the motion controls, but in terms of a game that really could showcase the power of motion control gaming, this doesn't get much better. It's like, this is the game that would be used to show that off and truly like integrate that into the experience, and Really unique game, and it got a remaster on the Switch. I would suggest playing on the Switch nowadays, unless you really want the motion controls, because that version has button controls, which is something that should have been included in this version of the game. Mario Kart Wii. This game is fantastic. I've talked about this game before, especially the custom track Grand Prix, which I got on my jailbroken Wii U. This game was got so much childhood memories. This one, like, you can go round and race online, and it's so fun. The courses are amazing, both new and retro. In fact, a lot of the courses that were introduced in this game would go on to become some of the best in the series, like Coconut Mall, Maple Treeway, Cooper Cape, DK Summit, Rainbow Road as well. Yeah, this game's a fun time, and I got the boxes as well elsewhere. I'm not getting out here, but it's got the wheel as well, and yeah, this is a fantastic game, and I cannot recommend it enough. If you have a Wii, get this one. Mario Sports Mix, otherwise known as the representation I have for Mario Sports games in my entire collection, because I don't actually care about Mario Sports games. This one does have Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest characters as unlockables, so this is the one that's actually the crossover between all three franchises and not Itadaki Street, in terms of one game anyway. There are actually other games in Japan that have both Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest games in the Itadaki Street formula. New Super Bros. Wii. This is, well, probably the best game in the series outside of the deluxe release on the Switch. And yeah, if you don't include those deluxe games, or even the base versions of the originals, this is the best one. I like the setting, the 4-player interactivity was great, easily one of the highlights of the Wii's life, and if you really like playing with your family, multiplayer games, this is a great one to go for. Pandora's Tower, which is one of the weirdest RPGs ever made. In terms of what's on the Nintendo platform, you basically go and save the maiden Eleanor, and she eats meat to stop her turning into some kind of demon monster form. And it's very interesting. Sakura Wars So Long My Love. This port for the West was done by Idea Factory, so they actually worked on this game, and yet the same Idea Factory that does the masterpiece known as Hyperdimension Neptunia, even though this is nothing like that because it's got nothing to do with Idea Factory. This was back in the days when the Red Entertainment co-owned the IP because they don't own it anymore. It's all up to Sega. And yeah, this game is amazing. I love its hybrid of like visual novel RPG gameplay with the open world and the little introduction of like the charming like New York 1920s setting. It's so unique, and I do recommend this if you're an RPG fan. It's very expensive nowadays, so unless you're willing to pay the money for this physical release, which if you're in Europe, you've only got the Wii version because the PlayStation 2 version only came west for North America. You will have to emulate it, and in fairness, you'll probably get a better experience emulating this nowadays anyway, especially because it is a visual novel SRPG hybrid. Sin and Punishment, Success of the Skies, a excellent action shooter game that if you're into gaming in general, well, if you are, then you should be watching many channels like this, but if you are into games like Sin and Punishment or just really bizarre out there experiences, you owe it to yourself to check this one out. It's fucking great, and I really hope we get a third game in this series someday. Super Mario Galaxy, oh, I have so much childhood nostalgia for this one. This game is going to be easily one of the best games ever made. I've talked about it in one of my favourites. It's in my recently released channel intro. As a brief mention, check it out. This game is, of course, got remastered on the Switch as part of the 3D All-Stars pack and as a digital re-release on the Wii U. In terms of this original Wii version, it's still a great game no matter how you play it, whether it be on the hardware or on an emulator. It's fantastic. Easy as some of like the best like unique power-ups and mechanics in the Mario series, and it's still impressive to this day. Like, I've been watching like Let's Plays of this game recently, and just seeing even people checking out this game for the first time and being blown away. It's like, yeah, this game is a timeless classic, and if you haven't played it already, check it out on the Switch or emulator. Now, one game that should have been released in the 3D All-Stars pack is Super Mario Galaxy 2. This is actually a copy of the game that I actually, well, back in the day, I think I actually got this day one, I believe. So I've had this for like 12 years, and you can tell the damage up there. And yeah, this is a fantastic sequel. It adds on what made the first game great, with things like the new power-ups and Yoshi, which it's really cool that Yoshi's now part of the core gameplay, not just a wooden planet in one of the galaxies, which was his only reference in the first game. And it's just so cool, and it's like the structure of Galaxy 2 is a bit different to Galaxy 1, and the structure changed to become a bit more linear with more galaxies with less stars in them. And it was quite interesting, and in many ways it kind of explodes in even more like varieties of gameplay and settings, and it's just really unique. I would suggest to play Galaxy 1 first before playing this one, because this one, because it's basically like we made this because we had so many ideas kind of game. It does kind of already assume you have knowledge of some of the things in the first game, like the bunny chasing the thing that you encounter in the first hour. You do get one stage with that in here, and just that kind of thing. It's on the Wii U digitally as well, but as I mentioned earlier, it's not in the All-Stars pack, so if you want to play this otherwise, you'll have to emulate it. But I believe this game is still really cheap now, so if you want to go after it, check it out. Oh, and this version has a tutorial DVD as a first print bonus, which I think is a really cool little thing, and I watched that myself like several times. It's good, it's very cute, and yay for tutorial DVDs. We need more of those. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, aka the game with a single player Smash Bros. Mode that was amazing, and I really wish that we had more things like that in the recent games. And yeah, this, I'm not the biggest Smash fan, it's just like, yeah, it's a fighting game, it's okay, there aren't many I plan to willingly play in my life. Aside from, well, Ultimate because Persona, and the other JRPG characters, and Aquaparza because Aquaplus, and Persona 4 eventually, Arena eventually because, well, it's Atlas. So yeah, can you tell I'm not big into fighting games as it relates to some of my favourite developers? And technically East vs Trails in the Sky Alternative Saga, but that's Falcom and that's not a fighting game, that's an RPG. But yeah, I think it's really cool that this series has gone on for as long as it has, with all the amazing characters that appear in it across all these different franchises. And it's so cool to, like, you see Solid Snake and Sonic in this as if it was like super brand new back in the day, and now you've got all this other stuff. And this one still has an online community because of Wimify, which is how you can also play Mario Kart Wii as well online to this day. So yeah, this is, I'd say if this interests you and you want a piece of Nintendo history, check it out, because this is a good game and it's not too expensive either. And also I should clarify, when I say expensive and stuff, it's mainly based on like Europe prices, because in Europe we don't have the scalper market as bad as it is in North America. So it's actually, you can walk into a CEX, you can get a lot of these games here for like £5 to £10, maybe a little bit more, but unless you're going after the really rare stuff, you can build up a Wii collection quite cheap. Trauma Center Second Opinion, I've not played this one. This is a Atlas game, and it was part of the Trauma Center or Trauma Team series, so yeah, we got all of them in Europe, and this one, well actually except the second DS game, but in terms of the Wii games, Nintendo released them here, so I'm looking forward to playing this. These Trauma games are really cheap, so that's really good that we can pick these up on the cheap. Wario Land The Shake Dimension, otherwise known as Wario Land Shake It, made by Good Feel, who later went on to make a little game called Kirby's Epic Yarn, which I have on the 3DS. That game is great. Wii Fit Plus. I have the balance board in a box. I got this and a Wii at a pawn shop for like, I think it's like £15 or something really like ridiculously cheap. And this game is great. I spent tons of time on it as a kid, especially when it came to like the running games and the mini games and all these other things. It's like, it's more of a, like, it's more software than game, but it's kind of shows a lot about how Nintendo really did a lot of gamification regarding fitness and interactivity on the Wii, which it's so fresh and so cool, and it's good that it still lived on. Like with Wii Fit U on the Wii U and other games, even on the Switch, you got like Ring Fit Adventure, which I've talked about in my Switch collection video. Check it out. Yeah, this is great. I'll always have a soft spot for Wii Fit, and yeah, that's not only great software but a great game. A lot of people hate Wii Music, but I love it. This was like another game I played endlessly as a kid, because this game is basically, it's not really something you use to learn how to play an instrument. It's more something that you play to like really experience what it's like to like make music and just have fun. Because at its core, that's what making music's about. It's about having fun. And that sense of fun is something this game captures really well. Even if it's not always like the most realistic, it's got the most charm, and I think it's like, a lot of people hate on this, but it's great, and it's actually probably one of the better like Touch Generations games that exist. And yeah, you can make your own music videos to share them with friends and family, and yeah, over the Nintendo Online services, which remember the poll channel? That was weird. You go and vote for a poll, and yeah, and this was fun with the music videos, and cool to see all like friends and family make the Miis, and it's just, yeah, I love this game so much. And it's also quite cheap as well. Like, most of these Touch Generation games are extremely cheap. We play, one of the best-selling like Wii games ever. This is was sold to me separately, and this is 10 games. They get better the further in you go, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I've played this. A long fucking time. And yeah, this was fun, and I definitely recommend this on the cheap. It's a fun way to pass an afternoon. You all know what Wii Sports is. This is, well, a great game. It's a timeless classic. Even your gran has pro played Wii Sports. And yeah, this was really like one of the games that really sold the Wii to people. And yeah, it's nice to have this harder to find like A4 like DVD case variant, because normally it's a bit hard to find when you get them in a sleeve, and I'm not that kind of person. I don't really want sleeves for my games. Like, if it's for an OST CD, that's one thing, but for a game, no, I want it in a proper case, and this is a proper case, and it's a proper case for a proper great game. Wii Sports Resort was basically Wii Sports, but with motion controls, and believe it or not, I've never actually played this. This is like the biggest gap I think I have in my like the essential Wii game library, aside from maybe the Zelda games and a couple of other select titles, some of which are expensive. Yeah, this game is just, yeah, builds on Woohoo Island, which you see in Wii Fit, and I love Woohoo Island, and I can't wait to eventually get around to checking this out and hopefully enjoying it even more than Wii Sports, because I know some people absolutely love this game. That's the end for the Wii stuff. I think I'm going to do the Wii U next, because it's only free, and I can go back to the GameCube. And there's not many to show, because I had more games for the Wii U, but some of them I sold, so I do plan to get some games back, and want to pick up a few of the ports that I missed as well, because there are still exclusives to the Wii U, because not everything was ported to the Switch or the 3DS, and some of them are getting expensive now, so good luck collecting for the Wii U, unless you're wanting certain games. We have Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. This is a game you've got ported to the Switch. Get it on the Switch if you have a Switch. This game is fantastic, whatever format you play it on though, and yeah, one of the best like platforming games ever made. I fucking love this game so much. The Switch version runs better and has a new funky mode for accessibility, so I'd recommend getting on the Switch, but you can't go wrong no matter where you play this, and hope we get to see more of what Retro worked on soon, because they worked on a game after this, and aside from a port of this game for the Switch, we don't know what they worked on, and whatever that game was has likely been cancelled, or Nintendo have chosen to sat on it for a while again, so hopefully whatever that is, we find out what it is soon enough, and it would be cool to see if it was a follow-up to this, because I think it's going to be hard to top that. It's amazing. Nintendo Land. This is basically the Wii Sports, but for the Wii U, and nowhere near as memorable, although it's really cool in its own right. Like, you have single-player games, games for like multiple people, even 2 on 3, and cooperative games. It is really unique, and it was one of the few games that ever truly tried to utilise the Wii U gamepad, because the Wii U gamepad was Well, it's basically like if you had a tablet, but really clunky and outdated. Wasn't the best tech, even by 2011 standards, but I'll always have a soft spot for the gamepad because the gamepad is really nice to hold. And also because my Wii U is hacked, so if I want to play hacked content, I have a Wii U, which also by extension is hacked Wii content. Yeah, Nintendo definitely aren't going to like me when I talk about all that stuff on my channel. Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2, this is the dual pack, well, for the Wii U, because I remember the mess that happened when people were upset that Bayonetta 2 was a Wii U exclusive. Well, I don't remember too much, but I know people were upset because, you know, people just ignore the reality of business decisions made in the games industry, and it's basically Nintendo saved the series, and it's nice that as part of that, Bayonetta 1 was ported to the Wii U, and it was released in this dual pack in Europe. In the US, the game got one release, and that release had a disc of the first Bayo as standard, but in Europe we got the game separately, as well as this bundle and the Mark of Mastery edition. No, not Mark of Mastery, but I know what I mean. There was a limited edition for Europe, which America also didn't get. And now finally onto the GameCube collection. There's not many games, but more than the Wii U. And so I'm gonna do a little quick fire, because this video is like 20 plus minutes long. I don't want to drag it out too long. Baton Kaitos, Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean. This is a card battle RPG from Monolith Soft, and this happened to be a release at the time while they worked on Xenosaga, and this is basically for the younger staff to like gain experience, which was really cool. It got a sequel, Baton Kaitos Origins, that only came to North America and like really late GameCube release, so I will probably never own that unless I'm going to put down £150 for a video game, which is a bit too much even for Monolith, and I fucking love Monolith. Billy Hatchet and the Giant Egg. This is like a platforming game made by Sonic Team. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. This is considered to be like one of the best games in the series. I know a lot of people like praise this a lot, and it's just nice to see that it still lives on passionately in the fan base, even if Nintendo have completely moved away from Paper Mario's originality and just replaced it into like action games with characters only from the Mushroom Kingdom, which is weird considering that this kind of magic is what the series was known for. And yeah. Skies of Arcadia Legends. I played a bit of this a long time ago. I got more interested in playing it recently, partially because of the passing of the game's like director. So I do want to give this another proper chance someday, because I know it's a classic in the JRPG community, and even the fans of Sega who aren't big on RPGs like, oh, Skies of Arcadia is amazing. And for this game, I do want to check it out. I know that like it's very expensive now. I got this years and years ago for cheap, and I've held on to it, so I would love to play this again and really properly appreciate it for what it is. Because we're probably never going to get a remaster of this, because with how these older companies are, they will throw away the source code for their games because they don't give a shit about preservation now. That's probably one reason why this game has never been re-released and costs a ton online. And finally, the very last game for this video, Super Mario Sunshine. This is, well, Mario Sunshine, and it's, well, the second 3D Mario game. And it's my least favourite, just because it's really, like, difficult and awkward to control, and it can get really frustrating. But yeah, I love the setting, I love the characters, and I think it's really cool having this open-ended design, which is really cool, and really unique for the series even now. You can play this on Switch as part of the 3D All-Stars collection, which is one reason why this game is quite cheap now. And I do recommend this game, especially for Inter Mario. Just bear in mind it's just not the best 3D Mario game, and very few people have it as their favourite. Oh, I should also mention that inside I have a disc of Pikmin. I got the GameCube I got years ago, and it came with this actually inside the slot. So I have a copy of Pikmin without a case. So yeah, I hope to expand the GameCube collection in particular. The main things I'm thinking of getting are, well, some of the more expensive stuff. Well, I'd like to get Kirby Air Ride and Path of Radiance someday. Probably won't happen though because of the price. Chibi Robo, that's one I'd like, but I think I might just get the one on the Wii like value release, which only came out in Japan, but it's multi-language. I don't think it's multi-language, but you can import it and I'll probably understand it because it's, well, an action game. It's not actually about, you know, it's not something that's text heavy like, say, Captain Rainbow, which is something I want for the Wii collection. And in terms of other GameCube stuff, a few other miscellaneous releases like F-Zero and other games, which I do see it for CX and that when I go in, but like a lot of it's a bit pricey, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to pay too much money for GameCube games, but they're all fairly common, and it's kind of a console that's kind of that's kind of hip to collect for now, and for me it's like, yeah, it's more expensive, and I've even seen it with the Wii over the last few years, not just because of the onset of the pandemic, but also because, well, people just tend to collect stuff, and even some of the games here, when I've picked them up over the years, they've gotten pricier, and it's just not as accessible now. But I do recommend still checking out the Wii's library, and the GameCubes, and the Wii U's. Even if it's just playing the ports of the Wii U game on the Switch, you'll never be able to fully separate the Wii U roots. And yeah, I love these games, I love these consoles. I want to add more games from these libraries to the consoles. And thank you so much for listening to this ramble. I'm hoping to do more collection videos in the future. I know people on the channel really like the collection videos because it's one that get the most hits and views, so I'll be doing more of them, and hopefully when I get around to doing updated videos for these consoles in the near future, or I say near, but let's be honest, it'll be at least a year, I will have more games for all of them and be able to talk about even more of them, because some of these I've not played, but I want to talk about them because they're incredible. Anyway, thank you so much. And please like, comment, subscribe, especially like notification bells, etc. Thank you so much. Bye bye.